Down the banister, breathless, he slid into the parlor. "Mom! Mom!" She lay in a plump maroon chair, breathless as if she too had run a great way. "Mom! Mom, you're soaking wet!" "Am I?" she said, as if it was his fault she'd been rushing about. "So I am, so I am." She took a deep breath and sighed. Then she took his hands and kissed each one. She looked at him steadily, her eyes dilating. "Well now, listen here, I've a surprise. Do you know what's coming tomorrow? You can't guess. Your birthday. But it's only been 10 months. Tomorrow it is. Do us wonders, I say, and anything I say is really so, my dear," she laughed. "And we open another secret room?" He was dazed. "The 14th room, yes. 15th room next year, 16th, 17th, and so on till your 21st birthday. Edwin? Then, oh! Then we'll open up the triple locked doors and the most important room, and you'll be man of the house, father, God, ruler of the universe." "Hey," he said, and "Hey!" He tossed his books straight up in the air. They exploded like a great burst of doves whistling. He laughed, she laughed, their laughter flew and fell with the books. He ran to scream down the banister again. At the bottom of the stairs she waited, arms wide, to catch him. Edward lay on his moonlit bed, and his fingers pried at the Jack-in-the-Box, but the lid stayed shut. He turned it in his hands blindly, but did not look down at it. Tomorrow, his birthday, but why? Was he that good? No. Why then should the birthday come so soon? Well, simply because things had gotten... What word could you use? Nervous? Yes. Things had begun to shimmer by day as well as by night. He saw the white tremor, the moonlight shifting down and down of an invisible snow in his mother's face. It would take yet another of his birthdays to quiet her again. "My birthdays," he said to the ceiling, "will come quicker from now on. I know. Mom laughs so loud, so much, and her eyes are funny." Would Teacher be invited to the party? No, Mother and Teacher had never met. "Why not?" "Because," said Mom. Don't you want to meet Mom, Teacher?" "Some day," said Teacher faintly, blowing off the cobwebs in the hall. "Some day." Where did Teacher go at night? Did she drift through all those secret mountain countries, high up near the moon, where the chandeliers were skinned blind with dust? Or did she wander out beyond the trees that lay beyond the trees, that lay beyond the trees? No, hardly that. He twisted the toy in his sweating hands. Last year, when things began to tremble and quiver, hadn't Mother advanced his birthday several months too? Yes, oh yes, yes. Think of something else. God building cold midnight cellar, sun-baked attic, and all miracles between. Think of the hour of his death, crushed by some monstrous beetle beyond the wall. Oh, how the worlds must have rocked with his passing. Edwin moved the Jack-in-the-Box to his face and whispered against the lid, "Hello, hello, hello, hello." No answer save the spring-tight coiled intention there. "I'll get you out," thought Edwin. Just wait. It may hurt, but there's only one way. Here. And he moved from bed to window and leaned far out, looking down at the marbled walk in the moonlight. He raised the box high, felt the sweat trickle from his armpit, felt his fingers clench, felt his arm jerk. He flung the box out, shouting. The box tumbled into the cold air. Down it took a long time to strike the marble pavement. Edwin bent still further over, gasping. "Well?" he cried. "Well?" And again, "You there? You?" The echoes faded. The box lay in the forest shadows. He could not see if the crash had broken it wide, could not see if the Jack had risen, smiling from its hideous jail, or if it bobbed upon the wind now, this way, that, its silver bells jingling softly. He listened. He stood by the window for an hour, staring, listening, and at last went back to bed. Morning, bright voices moved near and far, in and out. The kitchen whirled, and Edwin opened his eyes. Whose voices now? Whose could they be? Some of God's workmen, the Dolly people? But Mother hated them. No, the voices faded to a humming roar, silence, and from a great distance a running, Running grew louder and still louder until the door burst open. "Happy birthday!" They danced, they ate frosted cookies, they bit lemon ices, they drank pink wines, and there stood his name on a snow-powdered cake as Mother chorded the piano into an avalanche of sound and opened her mouth to sing, then whirled to seize him away to more strawberries, more wines, more laughter that shook chandeliers into trembling rain. Then a silver key flourished, and they raced to unlock the 14th forbidden door. "Ready? Hold on," the door whispered into the wall. "Oh," said Edwin, for disappointingly enough, the 14th room was nothing at all but a dusty, dull brown closet. It promised nothing, as had the rooms given him on other anniversaries. His 6th birthday present now had been the schoolroom in the Highlands. On his 7th birthday he had opened the playroom in the Lowlands. 8th, the music room. 9th, the marvelous hell-fired kitchen. 10th was the room where phonographs hissed in a continuous exhalation of ghosts singing on a gentle wind. 11th was the vast green diamond room of the garden, with a carpet that had to be cut instead of swept. "Oh, don't be disappointed. Move!" Mother, laughing, pushed him in the closet. "Wait till you see how magical. Shut the door." She thrust a red button flush with the wall. Edwin shrieked, "No!" For the room was quivering, working like a mouth that held them in iron jaws. The room moved, the wall slid away below. "Oh, hush now, darling," she said. The door drifted down through the floor, and a long, insanely vacant wall slithered by like an endlessly rushing snake to bring another door and another door with it that did not stop, but traveled on, while Edwin screamed and clutched his mother's waist. The room whined and cleared its throat somewhere. The trembling ceased. The room stood still. Edwin stared at a strange new door and heard his mother say, "Go on, open it." "There now, there," and the new door gaped upon still further mystery. Edwin blinked. "The Highlands! This is the Highlands! How did we get here? Where's the parlor, Mom? Where's the parlor?" She fetched him out through the door. "We jumped straight up and we flew. Once a week you'll fly to school instead of running the long way around." He still could not move, but only stood looking at the mystery of the land exchanged for land, the country replaced by higher and further country. "Oh, Mother, Mother," he said. It was a sweet, long time in the deep grass of the garden, where they idled most deliciously, sipped huge cupfuls of apple cider with their elbows on crimson silk cushions, their shoes kicked off, their toes bedded in sour dandelions, sweet clover. Mother jumped twice when she heard monsters roar beyond the forest. Edwin kissed her cheek. "It's all right," he said. "I'll protect you." "I know you will," she said, but she turned to gaze at the pattern of trees. At any moment the chaos out there might smash the forest with a blow and stamp its titan's foot down and grind them to dust. Late in the long blue afternoon they saw a chromium bird thing fly through a bright rift in the trees, high and roaring. They ran for the parlor, heads bent as before, a green storm of lightning and rain, feeling the sound pour blinding showers to drench them. Crackle, crackle. The birthday burnt away to cellophane nothingness. At sunset, in the dim, soft parlor country, Mother inhaled champagne with her tiny seedling nostrils and her pale summer-rose mouth. Then drowsy Wild heralded Edwin off to his room and shut him in. He undressed in slow pantomimed wonder, thinking this year, next year, and which room 2 years, 3 years from today. What about the beasts, the monsters, and being mashed, and God killed? What was killed? What was death? Was death a feeling? Did God enjoy it so much he never came back? Was death a journey, then? In the hall, on her way downstairs, Mother dropped a champagne bottle. Edwin heard it was cold, for the thought that jumped through his head was, that's how Mother'd sound. If she fell, if she broke, you'd find a million fragments in the morning, bright crystal and clear wine on the parquet flooring. That's all you'd see at dawn. Morning was the smell of vines and grapes and moss in his room, a smell of shadowed coolness. Downstairs, breakfast was in all probability at this instant manifesting itself in a finger snap on the wintry tables. Edwin got up to wash and dress and wait, feeling fine. Now things would be fresh and new for at least a month. Today, like all days, there'd be breakfast, school, lunch, songs in the music room, an hour or two at the electrical games, then tea in the outlands, on the luminous grass, then up to school again for a late hour or so, where he and teacher might prowl the censored library together and he'd puzzle with words and thoughts about that world out there that had been censored from his eyes. He had forgotten teacher's note, now he must give it to Mother. He opened the door. The hall was empty. Down through the deeps of the worlds, a soft mist floated. Through a silence which no footsteps broke. The hills were quiet. The silver fonts did not pulse in the first sunlight, and the banister, coiling up from the mists, was a prehistoric monster peering into his room. He pulled away from the creature, looking to find Mother, like a white boat, drifted by the dawn tides and vapors below. She was not there. He hurried down through the hushed lands, calling, "Mother!" And we will pause there.